Have you ever wanted to build a character from scratch using ZBrush? Then this tutorial is for you. Hi, welcome back to Academic Phoenix Plus. My name is Monica and I'm here to help you grow as an artist, get inspired, and hopefully land the dream job or next big promotion in the industry. In this video tutorial, we're going to dive into the blocking phase of ZBrush, where we focus on building out the basic shapes and forms that will become your character. It's the first big step in bringing your idea to life. If you're new to this channel, I post tutorials on a weekly basis. Software includes Maya, ZBrush, and Substance Painter. So if that is your sort of thing, please consider subscribing. So bring out that creativity, open up that software, and let's go ahead and get started in blocking out your character so that we can start bringing it to life.
So let's talk about how we're going to develop our character. And that's basically using shapes to develop the basic block of the body, and then you can start adding detail from there. What we really need is a reference image. So if you're going to design your character, make sure that it's in a T pose or an A pose or something easy to use. I'm going to be creating a Dora. But let's start off by going under draw. You can grab this and drag it over here. I'm going to go all the way to the bottom to front back, click map 1, and you're going to see that there's nothing there that I could use because I need to go to texture, import, and I'm going to import my character. So I am importing, where is she? Here she is. Going back to draw, click on map 1, and then you can choose that one. Next, you probably want to scale it. So I am going to be scaling this character about 2. So twice as big. There we go. It's a good way to start. And I also want something on the side. I'm going to go to the left, right, choose map 1, and also choose the same one. Don't forget to increase the scale to 2. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm not a big fan of my character facing that direction. I actually like my character to be facing positive Z. There's a button here called flip. Boop, and now the character has been flipped. And I can go ahead and move this using the horizontal slider. Now, the challenging part is our camera. Our camera is based on perspective. We are going to be doing 2 things. I'm going to be continuously turning off perspective so that I can get the right camera angle. And I'm also going to be turning off floor because floor will give me the actual mesh. And we're also going to be appending a lot. So we're going to be appending a lot of spheres. So I'm going to collapse draw here. I'm going to scroll down. And I'm going to turn off the perspective just so I can start working on this. So we're going to start off with the head. And again, I'm just going to start placing spheres. And you'll see that when I start doing this, my object is starting to look weird. That's because symmetry is on. So make sure you turn off symmetry by clicking X and then just kind of place a sphere, and then you can focus. And you'll notice that the camera remains the same. So if you like, you can go ahead and just kind of scale it a little bit like this so it kind of fits the character a little bit more. But again, I'm just kind of placing basic spheres right now, nothing major. Let's take a look at it on the other side. And let's go ahead and move this sphere to be around her head. Again, go ahead and scale it so it fits a little bit your character better. I still need to do some sculpting, but this is just starting off with that. This is my subtool. Let's click on that. And I'm going to call this, rename it. I'm going to call it the head because I'm going to have a ton of spheres. Let's go ahead and append another sphere. Zoom out. You got to make sure you select it. And this is going to be basically our torso. So I'm going to go ahead and scale it. Lift. Maybe slightly rotate it. Let's go to the front view. And we really, really, really hope that the drawings match. So a lot of the times they don't match. So just keep that in mind. Okay, so this one is going to be renamed, and this is going to be my torso. Again, we're going to append another sphere. Again, I'm just doing a really quick block out. Make sure you select the right one. And since I'm here, I might as well just do the neck. So you're going to see me go back and forth from the front and the side a lot. And we basically have this really simple block out right now. Doesn't look like much, but it's a start. We're going to do the torso next. Now the shoulders could be a little bit bigger. So I'm going to go ahead and grab the shoulders and just kind of scale it up a little bit. Let's go ahead and relabel the new one, which is the neck. And I'm going to drag it and put it between the head and the torso. Let's append another one. Make sure you select the right one. This one's going to be her pelvis. Now, my character is not perfectly aligned, so you're going to have to make a decision between what would you like to do. Would you like to have the same side on the left side or the right side? I'm going to kind of stick to the left. She is a slightly crooked, but I have to just make creative choices. All right, so this one is the pelvis, but let me go to this side view. Let's append another one. Select it. You can see that the pelvis is getting blocked. So we're going to have to make some artistic decisions as to what to do with that, because I can't really see the curvature of her body because it's being blocked. So just keep that in mind that we might have to make some decisions. Let me get this aligned. Let's turn off the floor. Let's make sure everything's revealed. So as you can see, I'm trying to create a straight line, but my pelvis is not exactly in the best position. So let me bring back the floor, grab the pelvis, and we might have to kind of guess where she's actually standing straight. I'm going to just call it the waist. Let me turn off the floor, and you can turn on the perspective, and you can see that we're starting to develop a very simple shape of a character. So this is just a basic block out of what our character is going to look like. It's definitely a little bit different than Z-spheres. Z-spheres, you don't really have too much control over the width, and this will give you a little bit more control over the shape. It's important to know different ways of sculpting. Let's bring back the floor. Let's get back that perspective. Go ahead and align it. And again, we're going to start creating a sphere. Make sure you select it. I'm going to focus. Let's go to this side view. Cool. Let's append another one. Make sure you select the right one. Press F to focus. Keep thinking of me, Maya. Let's see. Let's get this one here. All right. So we're basically starting off with a very simple looking object, and we're starting to get basically a little bit of that design. So this is going to be renamed the thigh, and then this one's going to be renamed the calf. We can't duplicate this one. All right, so let's, and then I can move it. All right, so let's rotate it. All right, so let's do the same thing for this one. All right, so let's duplicate it. Put it aside. And I'm just going to make sure that my thigh and calf are in one. Let's go ahead and start doing a little bit more shaping. Let's start off with basically the head. Make sure you have your head selected. Usually what we want to start off with is basically the move tool, and maybe turn on symmetry. So you want to make sure that the move tool is large enough, and you'll notice that my symmetry is a little bit off. So if your symmetry is not in the right place, you can go to transform and this one, which is the local symmetry. And you can see that that one's actually the best one for my character. So I'm going to go ahead and just kind of shape her head a little bit. And zoom in here. And I'm going to have to kind of crush her in a little. And also just kind of bring that in. And my brush is kind of big for that. So let's go ahead and just kind of get that shape of that we have here. So always take a look at it in two views, because you want to make sure that, again, I haven't done much on the side, but you want to make sure that you're not doing anything crazy to it. So let's bring back the floor and go to this side view. And this is the one that's going to be the most important part. Now, before I start moving this, you have to realize that if I take this and I start pushing it up and I turn it off, sometimes that works and sometimes it doesn't do a great job. Always keep an eye on what's going on with your thing, because if you're using symmetry and you'll pull, it's gonna pull it in the other side as well. So just kind of keep that in mind. I bring back the floor. Let's click on the side here. For the chin, I'm actually going to turn off symmetry. I'm going to get a bigger brush, and I'm going to grab that chin and just kind of start shaping it a little bit. And then I can go ahead and get a smaller brush and just kind of push this up. gonna push her mouth in. I'm gonna add her nose later. I'm gonna go ahead and just kind of get the basic of the head. And so you can see that I'm pushing it and I can accidentally crush it. So again, take a look at it in perspective and make sure you're not screwing it up. So I'm going to go ahead and just hit shift to do a smooth. Make sure everything's not getting weird and it is kind of shaping her head. I'm going to keep going down the chain. So next is going to be the neck. So here the neck looks pretty good. And again, let me check symmetry. Symmetry looks pretty good. I'm going to reduce my brush and just kind of make sure you grab the neck and just kind of follow the design. Go to the side view. And it might be a good idea to just slightly rotate this one. Moving on to the torso. Make sure you select the right one. Turn on symmetry. You're going to be doing the same thing. We're going to be pushing and pulling. Now, she does have a collar and all that stuff. So I'm just trying to get the base shape for her body. And then I'll start adding more details. So for example, her shoulders and then these spiky thingies and things like that. So right now I'm just trying to get a base mesh. So I'm pushing this in and just kind of following along the design. So again, take a look at it in the side view. So this is what we have so far. Moving on, again, turn on the floor. Make sure you're in the front view. Your perspective is turned off so I can start working on her. And let's see, let's select the right one, which is the waist. I don't like the fact that the strung is not even. I'm like, curse you. Let's go for the pelvis. Don't forget to turn on symmetry. And again, you're just going to have to make artistic decisions on what is going to be more prominent. Do you want it to be more flatter or do you want it to be more rounded? So again, it's not the best sketch in the world, but it works with what I have. And since I have this, I might as well go back into my waist and just kind of make sure this is, they're both kind of working together here. All right, let's go to the side view. Let me grab my waist here and make sure that that's following that curvature that she has. So knowing anatomy will really help you out in this. So I know there's a curve like so. So I'm going to push this up. Let's see, go into the pelvis. And now we're going to go to the thigh. Now I duplicated the thigh on the other side, which was probably not the best idea at the time. So I might delete this because now I'm going to be fixing the legs. So cool. And then let's continue to over here. And again, there's details like wrinkles and things like that on the leg, but I'm not planning to work on that right now. But I'm going to be getting the basic shape. Okay, let's take a look at what we have so far. So we're basically developing an outline. So first we started off with basic spheres and kind of stretching it and things like that. And now we're starting to develop the actual character shape. All right. So the next part is the arms. And then what I'm going to do is basically duplicate them on the other side. So let's just focus on one side. Turn on the floor. Let's append a sphere. Make sure you grab the right one. Let's scale it and bring it in. There's a shoulder and then we have an arm, and that can be a little bit challenging to get right. So just kind of make sure that your sphere is basically going to be your socket. And as always, I'm just going to be bouncing back and forth from the front and the side. Going to take a look at the front view. All right, let's add another sphere. Make sure you select runt. Let me rename this one before I forget. This one is going to be my shoulder, and the new one that I just made is going to be my top arm. Make sure you have the right one selected and scale away. Now, if you find the other pieces challenging to look at, you can always hide them. So for example, I might hide the torso, the waist, and the pelvis, just so that I can look at the arm a little bit better. So let me zoom in here. take a look at it in the front view. Little worried about the shoulders, so I'd scale it a little bit. Let's take a look at it in the side view again, just to make sure. All right, let's append another one. And I find the leg to be in the way, so let me hide the thigh. The front view. And of course, take a look at it. Let's reveal all of them. One of the issues with this drawing is that the character have the arm in front of her design, like her design actually has touching her thigh, which is really annoying. So this is not a great character sheet. Usually what you want is a character to literally be standing on an A pose or a T pose with their legs facing forward and stuff like that. So that's just the easiest way to model something. I know it gives them a slight personality, but by putting their weight on one leg, having their shoulders slightly shifted and all that stuff causes issues when it comes to modeling your character. So that's something to take into consideration when you guys are designing, is that it's easier if your character has an A pose or a T pose with their legs partially separated. All right, so with that being said, going back to the front view, what I'm going to do is hide everything. I'm going to sculpt the arm, but then I'm going to spread it open a little bit so that I can get a better model. This is going to be the bottom of the arm, and since I'm here, I might as well just sculpt it. So let's start with the shoulder. We go to draw mode, and we could just kind of sculpt the shoulder a little bit. Make sure it kind of blends in there. Then we're going to grab the top arm and just kind of make sure it fits. We'll grab the bottom arm. The legs and stuff are in the way, so let me get rid of my legs, my thighs, things like that. Pelvis. It's a little square, but let's see what we can get when we turn on our side view. I'm going to start at the top. Again, turn off things that might get in your way. Let me grab the top of the arm and just kind of smooth that out a little bit. So if there you see any like weird lumps or something like that, just kind of go in and just smooth it out a little bit. I think it would just make your life a little easier. So you can see that even with very little detail, we actually are starting to see a character.
So now you guys have an idea on how to do a blockout in ZBrush. The next part is basically to continue doing the exact same process and moving forward. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and fast forward through this process so you guys can see how I'm going to get the character completed as a blockout. And in the next video tutorial, what I'm going to do is start merging all of these blockout pieces to start creating the actual character itself. So again, it's a great way to start the character in the blockout phase and then getting it ready for detail. The more structure you have in this blockout phase, the easier it's going to be when you start merging the pieces together and develop your full character. Let me go ahead and start fast forwarding. Thank you so much for watching. And there you have it, a blocked out character. Thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Hopefully you learned a thing or two. If you did, please like and subscribe. That is your message to me, letting me know that you like this content and that you want to see more. And of course, it helps me out with YouTube. Please share my videos. If you know of an artist out there that wants to learn how to build ZBrush models or ZBrush characters, please share my videos. That would be amazing. And of course, take a look at academicphoenixplus.com. There you will find free resources, ebooks, and so much more. So take a look at academicphoenixplus.com. Again, thank you so much for watching. I really appreciate it. Keep creating, and I will see you next time in the next video tutorial where we take this blocked out character and start giving it life.